All right, welcome back in here. Monday Fun Day, the NBA tip-off show powered by WagerTalk.com, as we've got 6 NBA games on the card here tonight. We're going to run through a bunch of these, see if we can't find a couple of spots that we like, a few best bets, maybe a total and a prop or two. And we do it, of course, with our good friends, the one and only Ski Prophet in the house. The man refuses to lose, doesn't give a crap about what you got to say. He's just going to keep cashing tickets. Rob Vino, ready to roll. He knows it as well. Hasn't met an over he doesn't like yet. We'll see if that holds true yet on these 6 games tonight. Gentlemen, we were just laughing that Embiid, he got some sort of broken nose or something, but he ain't playing because he's not man enough to do so. The problem is, I don't know if I'm man enough to take the Charlotte Hornets, Ski. That's the problem. I want to take the Charlotte Hornets. I just don't know if I can. I'm seeing 3.5 as the spread in this one. What do you think about the Sixers, who appear to have everyone else but Embiid?
I don't really want to lay with the Sixers. I don't think they're that good of a team.
Whew.
I mean, this is a preseason for the Sixers win total under. That's off to a good start. But just especially I see them on the road. It doesn't really matter who they're playing against. Don't really love taking a minus point. So I look at the Hornets side. I would definitely want LaMelo back. I think he's a really big difference maker. But they've been better on the boards lately than the Sixers. And I think the offense, as long as we get LaMelo back, will be a lot better too. So I would be taking the points with the home team if I'm getting involved here. And also, it's probably why the total has gone up. Open 212.5, as high as 217. LaMelo is going to make all the difference for the pace and just the boost that the offense needs for them. So I'm in agreement with the market on that and lean Charlotte.
All right, leaning Charlotte in this one. I mean, Rob, it's been a little bit of a rough stretch here for Charlotte, right? 9 of 10 they've lost. And I think one of the games in there was not a 6-point loss at home to the 76ers here. But they didn't have Miles Bridges in that game. I mean, I don't know that I can go with the 76ers here. It would have to be Charlotte a pass unless you got another way to look at this.
Yeah, side perspective, Joe, I think you would try the Charlotte side. They went last week, a couple of games over the last few without 3 key ingredients, right? And it looks like all of those will play here tonight, which, as Skee mentioned, it picks up the pace for Charlotte. And in a game without Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond as your starting center, I think pace is probably the way to go with Charlotte. And I don't know that Philly will back down from that pace. With the lineup that they have out on the floor, it seems better suited to just try and outscore Charlotte in a high-scoring game. The number, again, as Skee mentioned, going up as far as total is concerned. But I don't know that I disagree at all. And 217 might still be a little too light in this game. You're asking for 109 aside. And I don't know that that's out of the realm of possibility if Charlotte hits the gas a little bit and Philly goes ahead and runs with them. So I'm pretty sure that's the way this game will play out. Charles Lee, the head coach of Charlotte, did point out that the shot selection for Charlotte has been poor as of late. But again, I attribute that to the ins and outs of this starting lineup. When it's all together, they seem to be a better team, more cohesive. I think that'll happen tonight. So I would lean towards over here, Joe. But if I had to play the side, I think I would go to the home team.
Yeah, I kind of like the over as well there. Hopefully Charlotte gets LaMelo back here tonight. That game, 7 o'clock Eastern time tip in Charlotte. Let's take a look at my Miami Heat, Ski, who are taking on the Detroit Pistons here tonight at 7 o'clock as well. I'm still seeing 4.5s on the board here. Do we trust Detroit? Maybe early, but they'll figure out a way to eventually lose this game. The question is, do you like Miami on the road in Detroit to cover this number?
Yeah, this one's a little bit tricky. I know these teams played maybe a month ago, and Detroit did beat them, but Tobias Harris for Detroit, and I believe it was without Jimmy Butler for the Miami Heat. So the opposite this time. Jimmy's in and Tobias is out. It's tough. It's very, very tough for me. I think the better bet I'll go back to if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Cade Cunningham over his rebounds plus assists. I know they did raise it to 16 and a half, and I'm gonna double check here, but I'm pretty sure he averages 17. So he's been clearing. I know they cleared the 15 and a half number every game except for two going back to November 3rd. 16 and a half has been pretty consistent too. So that would be the direction I'm looking at playing.
That's not a bad way to go. If it ain't broke, don't fix it here. Rob, this one too, one of the interesting totals of the night here. Problem is Detroit gives up the three a lot, and my goodness, Tyler Hero could have 35 here tonight and could go off from the outside. They just can't defend the perimeter. So what are we do? 219, and we'll start up here a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go with this one, Joe, is that 3-point shooting matchup really does favor Miami. I don't play a lot of player props, but if you're going to play a player prop, take your choice. Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, whichever way you want to go here. You're liable to get a win out of that. And, Detroit head coach was complaining about the fact that they don't play 48 minutes of perimeter defense at this point in time. Miami shoots it. Field goal percentage-wise, fourth best in the league. And to the Heat's credit, Joe, offensively, they just don't turn it over. And Detroit does turn it over. So if you're looking for fundamental matchups, those are two pretty good ones to start with for the Miami side. 4.5, you always hate to lay with Miami because you're never quite sure that they can win by margin. But in this instance, I would think I'd lean that way. But even as I said off the start, not being a prop player, I think I would be inclined first look to go towards some sort of 3-point overs where Hero or Robinson is concerned and see if you can't get in on that, because I think that's probably the best way to look at this thing. Detroit just not defending the perimeter at this point in time. Could get over, and Miami could cover this one, but I would rather look towards individual player prop with somebody on Miami getting over their amount of threes here tonight.
All right, good stuff there, Rob Vino. Appreciate it as always. Let's take a quick look, guys, at another game here tonight with a total that seems to be through the roof. Over 239 and a half, 240 right now. Keeps rising with the Bulls and the Raptors. Let me go to you, Skee. Boy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess just an over with the Bulls.
This one I had a little bit of a hesitation. I mean, the Bulls, they do continue to play up tempo, but you look at lately, they've been a little bit better on the defensive end. They played Charlotte, held them to 95, held Philly to 108, and then they had a game versus Brooklyn, held them to 102. Last 5 games, they're actually 6th best defensive rated team. So yes, they will play with pace. You could be missing. I mean, you have Levine and Vucevic both game time decision here. That's a lot of points you could potentially have out of the lineup. For the Raptors, missing Scotty Barnes, who's like the focal point of their offense, whatever they have going over there, I think lost, and I think it's going to continue to affect their offense too. So I don't know. I'm leaning a little bit more towards under 240 and a half or whatever the current number is. If I was going to play on somebody or expect, points or whatever it may be, I think RJ Barrett should have a lot of responsibility with Scotty Barnes out. I'm unsure if I would do PRA or how to play it, but I think he's a guy to play on. So either under or RJ Barrett props are my recommendations.
All right, there you go. RJ Barrett, never a bad look in here. What are you thinking, Vino? I mean, how in the hell could you sweat out an under with these two teams?
It's hard. The line maker, obviously, or not even the line maker, the market pushed it up, right? So the market's making it a little more difficult. You have to think twice. Toronto, for what it's worth, last 11 games, 10 of those have stayed underneath this total. So you could start with that if you were looking to play an under. I always look, Joe, to the Chicago team total over. But again, that injury report kind of keeps us away from that until we know for sure if we're going to get Levine and Vucevic. If you get Levine, you could almost use that as a ingredient for wanting to play over, because the lack of defense that he provides and then the offense that he provides sort of push the game total up. But like I said, I always start with Chicago from a team total perspective over. Toronto's been so gritty and they played so hard all season long that I hate to lay points with Chicago on the road. That just doesn't seem like a smart thing to do. So if I was going to play side, I'd probably look toward Toronto. But as far as game is concerned, and maybe what my first priority would be here, it would probably be toward the Bulls team total if they're in full, if they're totally healthy here. Scotty Barnes, for what it's worth, not only does he provide a ton of offense, or at least a focal point of the offense, but he also provides a lot of defense for the Toronto side that goes by the wayside when he's out. So we'll see what the injury report final status is. But if we get a little bit of a go on Levine and Vucevic, I think Chicago team total is worth it here.
All right, not a bad way to look there with the team total to get it going there tonight in that matchup here. Don't forget to hit that like button. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We certainly appreciate the time you guys hanging out with us. And Skee, what do you think of the Sacramento team here tonight? They finally seem to have figured some things out, taking on the Denver Nuggets at home. I think they've won 4 of their last 5, the Kings have. Do we trust them in this spot to get it done against Denver? Oh, is he? Oh, you're muted there, but that's all right.
My bad. Maybe I'll say it like this. Sacramento has won a few games in a row. Maybe they're trending up right now. They are healthy, but I still don't know that I trust them. They're going against Denver, who also, like, they were playing really bad. Then they had that wake up game versus the Hawks. They won by 30, and then they had another blowout win versus the Clippers. I think Denver could also be trending up. So it's a game where I'm kind of hesitant to pick a side. What I will play in this game, I'll go Malik Monk over 16.5 points. He did get into the starting lineup a little ago. He's cleared this number 5 of his last 7 games. The last 2 are the games he did not. One of them, it was a blowout. Like, I'm talking about the Kings were up by 40 points, so he didn't get enough minutes. And the other one, he just had a really bad shooting night. So I think he'll bounce back here versus Denver and get to 17-plus points for Malik Monk.
All right, getting there for that one. What are you thinking, Vino, here? Can Sacramento, have they figured some things out, putting Malik Monk in the starting lineup? Is that something you'd be looking at here tonight? Or do you think, I just hate the depth of Denver. Is Jamal playing? Is he not playing? Like, who do you trust here?
Well, let me start there, Joe, because you're asking if Sacramento figured some things out. Let me tell you exactly what Michael Malone, the head coach of Denver, has figured out. Here's his quote. When Russell Westbrook, when Russ is out there with Nikola, good things happen. So what I've tried to do recently was get Russ into the game earlier so he has as many minutes on the court to share with Nikola Jokic. That 2-man combo has been very effective on both ends of the floor. Jokic is the guy who wanted Westbrook in town, but who'd have thought that it would end up like this, where the head coach is actually trying to make a path for those two to be on the floor together. So he thinks they're more fluid with Westbrook on the floor. When Westbrook's on the floor, pace is quicker. If Westbrook is doing well, scoring's higher. Sacramento's hit 140 2 of the last 4 games. Denver, uncharacteristically this season, 5th or 6th fastest tempo in the league. So they're playing a different style at this point. I think it could get to the over here. They haven't played this season, so we haven't got a matchup to go off of head to head. But I think the way both are going here, Joe, Denver has shown a definite inability. You talked about their depth. There's an inability to play defense on this team. And so with De'Aaron Fox at the point here, and as quick as Sacramento goes, I just would rather play over in this game at this point in time until Denver shows me different. I mean, I've been trying to buck that high-scoring trend with them, but it looks like something that's going to stick at least early on this season. We'll see if we get closer to playoffs, if Denver decides to get into defensive mode, but it's not there yet. Numbers high, 236.5, 237. but it's high for a reason. I would try a slight play towards over in that game.
Going over in this one. Love it. All right, so we've got a couple of opportunities here tonight on the card with a couple of games that appear to be worth looking at here. It is time to ask these guys if they do have a game or a prop or a side or a total that they like a little more than the rest. I'm fairly certain I will not hear the words Utah Jazz out of their mouth here, but I could be wrong. Let's start with Skee here. Maybe he'll shock the world and drop a Utah Jazz. I doubt it, though, Skee, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Where are you thinking here on the card tonight? What are you looking at?
I gave it out already, but I'll give it out again here. Today's card is tough. What I like right now is Malik Monk over 10.5 points. Rob talked about how that one could be an up-tempo, maybe a higher scoring game. He's been consistent with this. He just fell off in that last game. And like I said earlier, the game before, they're up by 40 points. He's not getting the minutes. You can't blame him for that. Can't knock him for that. The previous 5 games, he cleared it easily, scoring in the 20, 25 even. Malik Monk's been balling. So if Sacramento's going to win this game, he'll be a big part of it. Give me Malik Monk over 16.5 points.
Malik Monk over 16.5 points. Expecting a big night from him. I agree. Skee, what do you got locked, loaded, ready to go at Wager Talk? Not just, of course, NBA action. You've been crushing it across the board. So what do folks get?
Yeah, well, I'll just shout out how I've been doing because I don't have an access, but all access, one of those all access passes is the best way to get involved. Yeah, lately, 35 and run 11 of my last 13 football bets between college and NFL. Ooh. I won 9 of college basketball. So heating up. If you would like to be involved, check me out over there at Wager Talk.
No reason not to check them out there, guys. Still an opportunity to grab that 7 days, get 3 free, 10 total days of all access there for just $99. Take advantage of it by visiting Skee over at WagerTalk.com. Mr. Vino, tell us what you got locked, loaded, ready to roll at Wager Talk. Big bowl week here, of course. We will eventually crown, I guess, a NBA Cup champion if anybody cares. But we got plenty going on. Tell us what it is and give us a best bet here before it's all said and done.
Well, real quick, over at WagerTalk.com, tonight being one of those rarities where we have 2 Monday night football games. Happy to have a selection on both. They're both up and available right now, one on the Atlanta Raiders game and the other on the NFC North battle between the Bears and the Vikings. You can get both of those. And to your comment about bowl games, Joe, tomorrow night's bowl game is up and available right now over there at WagerTalk.com at my homepage. It's the Frisco Bowl between Memphis and West Virginia. I think we got a good angle on that one. So once again, you can find those over there. And I would say this real quick, as far as packages are concerned, Wager Talk's put together a real nice bowl package for anybody interested in selections over the bowl season. 45 bowl games left if you go all the way through the national championship. $149 the price for all 45. So I would go ahead and take advantage of that. The bowl game special offered by Wager Talk over at WagerTalk.com. Best bet. For me, it was really simple today, Joe. I took a look really quick and saw the Cleveland Cavalier team total, and the game total proceeded to go down. So Cleveland does get penalized in that instance. Their team total comes down with it, although it's really got little to do with them now, as Evan Mobley's now listed as probable. But you're asking for, you can find as low as 112.5 against the Brooklyn Nets in this particular instance. And Cleveland, I'm a big bounce back guy. They come off their worst offensive shooting performance of the season. They only shot 40% from the field in their last game against the Wizards, albeit. So I think they'll bounce back pretty good against this defense. And also, they shot 40 free throws in that game against Washington and only made 28. So it was their worst free throw percentage of the season. Worst field goal percentage, worst free throw percentage. I think they bounced back a little bit. There is a little spice added to this one because, of course, it's a Kenny Atkinson head coaching game against his old team where they canned him. They have beaten the Nets once this season, only got to 110. But this time I think they can get to 114 fairly easily. So give me the Cavs team total here, Joe, over the 112.5 if you're really shopping good. If you're just quickly grabbing, I think you'll find 113.
Love it, Rob Vino. There you got it, guys. Limited card here tonight in the association, but again, plenty of opportunities with both Ski Profit and Rob Vino to making it extremely, very profitable end to the 2024 season. And then, of course, get ready, a couple of weeks away. New Year's Day will be here before we know it. And we got a whole lot more NBA, college hoops, national championship, NFL playoffs, a little something for everybody. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow as we'll break it all down for you here, getting ready to crown one of these NBA Cup champs, OKC. Taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll have our thoughts about that. But thank you to Ski Profit. Thank you to Rob Vino. And thank you to you guys for hanging out with us. Best of luck with the plays tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow here on Wager Talk TV.